Morning, everyone. Welcome to the AWS China session. Today, our topic is a dynamic opportunity in China, but understand AWS China first, and then how we grow together. My name is Ken. I'm the General Manager of Global Account in AWS China. Today, it's also my honor. I invited 3 additional speakers to deliver the session with me. The speakers are Wen, who is the head of solution architecture in AWS China, and Bob from Deloitte, who is the principal partner, and also AWS Alliance leader in US to representing our partner. And I'm also pleased to have Rehan from Tapestry representing our MNC customers. So thank you. Actually, I'm very excited to share with you that this year is the 10th anniversary of AWS in China. And just in June this year, during our summit, China Summit in Shanghai, we have a big celebration of our 10th anniversary in China, hang on for 3 days in Shanghai. So you are very welcome. If you have a chance to go to Shanghai, come to Shanghai in next year, join our summit. As you can see, our journey in China, we start very early. Start from 2013, we already announced our limited preview for selected customer. In year 2016, we launched the first region in Beijing. And in the following year, in year 2017, we launched the second region in Ningxia. And in year 2019, we add one more region in Hong Kong. That makes China is the only country we launched 3 regions aside from US. And in the past 10 years, we are continuously to invest our resource, our infrastructures, our team, and also expanding our partner ecosystem in China. And we also add our AI labs in Shanghai, and we add IoT labs both in Shenzhen and Taipei. China is a unique market. The China region is a partitioned region. That means the region is not connected to global region, and we operated by 2 local operators. That's a unique model we create together with our partners under the guidance of China government. So we have 2 local partners to operate our region. CNET is for our Beijing region, and NWCD is for our Ningxia region. So these 2 partners operate and provide AWS services to our customers, and AWS will provide the leading technology and give them guidance and also the expertise to these 2 operational partners. So as I mentioned, these 2 regions are in China, which is the partitioned region, and both regions has 3 AZ, 3 available zones. Although it's a partitioned region, however, the service, the architecture we designed for this region is exactly consistent with what we designed and provide in global region. So our 2 local partners help our customer for AWS account registration, billing, invoice processing, while AWS supporting our customers, like provide the leading technology service and give them guidance and also expertise to our partners to ensure we provide the same user experience as well as the SLA for our customers in China. So this is our strategy in China. Our strategy is leveraging our global strengths but acting locally. The strengths we have from global is, first of all, the top 5 strengths is our leading technology and services. Secondly, our complete coverage of global infrastructure. Third is the security, compliance, best practice, and services we provide to our customer on the cloud. Fourth is the industry best practice we accumulated from millions of customers from different industries, which can benefit to our customers in China immediately. Last but not least, a dynamic partner ecosystem also help us to enrich our offerings to our customers in China. Besides these 5 strengths, we also have 2 unique strengths from Amazon, at the whole Amazon. One is the strong support from one Amazon. So internally in the Amazon, we provide support to each other, we link our business together, and support our customer on the same page. Last but not least is the innovation. Amazon culture of innovation always inspired our customer and help them to accelerate their digital transformation. So equipped by these strengths, we serve our customer in 3 segments. One is we call G2C, that is global to China. That's why today we have you here. And the second thing is like Chinese companies also growing and expanding. So we also serve customers, Chinese customers who are expanding outside of China. Last but not least, we also serve Chinese customers in China. We all know compliance and security on cloud and in cloud is critical. And that's also our job zero from our CEO and Andy Jassy always say security is job zero on the cloud. So AWS China, we got a complete assessment certificate for compliance and security in order to help our customer operate their business in a very safe and secure environment. The assessment and certification we got, including the MLPS Level 3 assessment, and also including a series of ISO certificates, and also including some local certificates like a Trust Cloud Service assessment provided by China government. And also, we got some special certifications like TISAX. It's a special certification for automotive customers. As I mentioned, during our 10 years journey in China, we also launched Marketplace in China as well in year 2020. Now, I proudly say there are hundreds of partner solutions has been listed on our Marketplace, which is not only helping us to enrich our offerings to customer, but also helping us to expanding our business, either in industries or by territories. The partner network, we're running the same program called APM program in China. So globally, we have 130,000 partners in our partner network. Some of them, they are running the same in China. However, in China, we also developed thousands of local partner ecosystems, including like SI, including ISV. So nowadays, in China, in AWS China, we have already built thousands of partner networks, including like GSIs, like Deloitte, PwC, Accenture, and GSVs like Palo Alto Networks, and SAP, and also local SIs, local ISVs, local resellers to help us, we are integrated together to offer to our customer and expand our business together in China. And if you are ISV here today, we have a professional team, dedicated team, helping our ISV, guide our ISV how to launch your SaaS, your application, your technology on AWS China, and also help you to build the GTM plan to expand your business in China. As I just said, together with partner, we will become stronger. Next, I will invite Bob who is the principal partner and the AWS Alliance Manager for US, to come to the stage to share more with us. Welcome, Bob.
Thank you, Ken.
Yeah.
Hi, good morning. My name is Bob Vong, and I am a principal with Deloitte. I also lead our AWS Sales Excellence and Delivery Excellence in the United States. When Ken first asked me to do this, I immediately thought, what an amazing opportunity, because it's such a great topic area for us right now as a society and as a culture. And then secondly, I thought, I wonder if he knows I'm trying to fly out Wednesday night instead of Thursday morning. But nonetheless, I do think that this is an imperative topic for us to go through. I've been through 8 reInvents, and I'm always surprised by the maturity of the conversations that we have and the complexity of the topics. So what we're going to talk about a little bit today is the expansion of multinational corporations into sovereign regions, and why that is imperative to our clients and their strategies for growth. So if you look at the US, GDP growth has been quite stagnant over the last few years, staying at a steady 2.5%. It's expected to stay there year over year into 2026. Look in contrast to emerging markets such as Singapore at 8%, China at 3.5%, and India at over 7%. It is a business imperative for our clients to be able to expand into those markets. So what we look for to do in helping our clients is looking at technology companies like AWS and using the cloud to break down barriers of entry, allowing them to not only think about how they serve their clients in the US region, but how do they get into other sovereign regions. We look for strategic opportunities and ecosystem partners, just like AWS, that have a bigger expansion and growth capabilities than what our clients are doing today, just in the United States. And what it all boils down to, too, is how do we get them to a place where there is investment and ownership into these geolocations, as well as a streamline of their supply chain, developing products faster, getting services to market. And when we evaluate this, we really think through what are the top considerations for our clients when they're looking at FDI destinations. FDI, foreign direct investments. And so where they're going to put their money into different regions. And one of them is, like I just talked about before, the fundamental economics behind it, right? Is there value in growing into those markets? And generally, when that is compared to also the size of the overall market that they can go after, the sheer size of the demand in the new spaces. Then we look at the speed of innovation. We look at what they're trying to accomplish, and can they actually innovate those products and services in those spaces. AWS being such a big provider in China, there's an ability to get products to market faster. And then on the flip side of that, I really try to advise our clients on how we think about the risks and considerations that of this entire journey. I think first and foremost is the public sentiment. Like, we are concerned about what may do to their brand. How do they, in fact, take a brand in the US and go into other markets? What's the expectation of how they are going to operate that brand in that new market? How are they going to serve their clients? What is the product going to look like? How is it fundamentally different, and so forth? And then you couple that with the fact that there is complexity with new regulatory requirements by governing entities, right? Government entities, and the fact that they want to be able to control their property and their intellectual IP moving forward. So let's take an example of this, looking specifically at how do we help manage the changes in the data policies as they go from a place like the US and other different sovereign regions. And in the US, data sovereignty is not centralized like it could be in other places. So very specifically, it can come from the industry, where you may have specific requirements on health data in the healthcare and life sciences sector, FSI data, and so forth. And it can come from federal and local government as well. But if you look at countries in Asia, there are a lot of changes in their policies that are being managed centrally. Also look at the UK and Europe where there's GDPR that governs that data, and there's a much better understanding of how to comprehensively as an entity and as a centralized entity control that data. So our clients need to be guided through those requirements. They need to be guided through like how do they step from one place to the next. And so we take a multi-pronged approach, and first is actually two steps. At a very high level, the first one is developing a global presence and understanding what the data, that global part looks like. Ken just articulated so well the importance of being global and acting local. And on my next slide, I'll talk about how we act local a little bit. But being global means really to look at all the global regulatory requirements. How is data going to be managed globally? How does it transfer from region to region? How do you continuously monitor that data, the accessibility of that data? And then into the next one, where now that they're branching into the emerging markets, there is a huge impact on their product. There's a assimilation to the culture, I think, is more important than a very understated one, I apologize, where not only there is a social acceptance in that product, but also that product needs to change a little bit for that market as well. And we'll talk about that in the next slide. And then there's a organizational change, right? Globally, there needs to be a team that supports where the parent or global headquarters, as well as a team that supports the local needs of the product and their customers. So here is an example of a client that I'm working with and the expansion into different sovereign regions. When you look at the global company, how they do it is they manage the overall product sets and features and the strategy of that product at the parent company. And then those features are pushed to the local branches where the SREs are responsible for code deployment, code management, and feature development. However, that is also in tandem with product managers that also have a clear understanding of how products act in that space. I'll give an example of in America, we are not very much used to buying from an app. If we're using a social media app, we're not used to buying from the app. We like to go to Amazon.com and procure things there. But in Asia, buying from a multimedia app is the norm, right? They're on social media, they're looking at multimedia stuff, and they're buying directly from the app. And that behavior in itself is fundamentally different on how you would do e-commerce in the US versus in China. And so we have the ability to not only set the strategy globally, but then also very much push products to markets locally. So as we work with AWS and our clients through this, we really try to take a AIO approach, and I apologize if you don't know what that means, advise, implement, operate, in which we start off early with the advisory services, right? We're looking at the business requirements, we're looking at the regulatory requirements, we're looking at what's very specific to our clients so that they can break into those markets. And then in the implement phase, we're actually hands-on keyboard. We're developing products with them, but pushing code to market. We are leveraging the business requirements and technical requirements that we had before, implementing them as code, and then eventually it gets to operate phase where hopefully a lot of this is managed and operated by code. Through our policy is do as much by code as possible, so the operation of the applications, the security of the applications and so forth is fundamentally done by code. So how can we work together to help our clients achieve this? It's been a great partnership with AWS. I think one of the first things I would say is get in early, as everyone would say, but have a good vision of how a product or a client will expand in the new market. Market expansion, as we talked about, is tough, but it's also extremely necessary. I also think that understanding how the organization is going to operate globally versus locally, like I said, is going to be super important for the expansion. And I think that if we were to do so, we can help each of our clients through this journey, and it's imperative for their overall growth and success. So, Thank you, Ken. I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you very much, Bob. Please take a seat. Yeah, as we said, as a global company, we're leveraging our global strengths and acting locally. Our unique strengths allow us to, first of all, because the China region, the architecture of China region and the global region is consistent. And the service we provide in China region and the global region is consistent. That allows us to help our MNCs to build a consistent technology foundation across global and China easily. And then later deploy and manage their global workload to China easily. Second thing is like, not only we are securing, as we mentioned, securing job zero is critical on the cloud. So as AWS China, we're not only leveraging our global security and compliance capability to serve our customer, but also we deeply understand the local compliance requirement, regulations. So we work the solutions with partners like Deloitte, PwC, to help us, our customer, to operate their business more secure in China. And last but not least, as in order to serve our customer in a better experience, we have team in China, we have team, our global account manager in different parts of the world, and my team also, I also put different team members in major cities in different locations in the world to help us to connect together. So we really, from AWS perspective, we really work as one team to ensure we give the same user experience for our customers across the world. And with these strengths, we empower our customers in China, first of all, to accelerate the local innovations by not only the global partner ecosystem, but also the local partner ecosystem we build for thousands with thousand partners, and also improving our MNC's business resilience through the very secured solutions, technologies we provided to you. And last but not least, also we leverage our generative AI to enable our customers to increase business values. Next, I will invite my colleague, Wen, who is the head of solution architecture, to come to the stage to give you more insight about how we use our technology, service, and innovations to help our customers' digital transformation in China. Welcome, Wen.
Okay, morning everyone, and thank you for coming to our session. My name is Wen. I lead a solutions architect organization in Greater China, helping you to land workloads in China regions, and let's build something to serve the customers. I will walk you through 4 parts: the service readiness in Ningxia and Beijing regions, and then the network connections, which is the hottest topic when newly opened China region accounts. And thirdly, the security. We want to discuss more about the security solutions to help you secure the data at rest and in transit. And last but not least, I would like to show you a full picture from summarized from real cases in terms of the DevOps pipelines, so that you can operate the workloads in global regions and the parts in Chinese mainland in a unified way. Okay, let's have a review of the feature launches in Ningxia and Beijing region. First of all, I want to highlight that as of Q3 this year, we have already launched 530 plus features in Beijing and Ningxia. And the charts in the left-hand side shows the trending line is up. It shows the number of features launched by months in the past 2 years. You can see that the trending is up, which echoes to the strategic commitment of AWS investment in China. And all the core services are available now. And as Ken mentioned, It uses the same technology in global regions and in global regions. And the new services and features are launched practically every month. Let me give you 3 examples. I think these 3 features are very exciting for you in the Ningxia and Beijing region. The first one is savings plan is now available in Ningxia and Beijing region. You can use this freely as you use it in the global regions to optimize the overall cost easily. Second, for the enterprises that have many account IDs to your different groups and teams, you need the organizations to manage all the access. And the service control policy, SCP, is a critical part to manage the access. Now the SCP is available in Ningxia and Beijing region. Last but not least, as you can see in this event, the serverless is the future. Serverless is the direction. We are dedicated to promote this trend, so we launched the Aurora Serverless V2 and EMR Serverless in Ningxia and Beijing region. You can now use the serverless features to refactor your application to make it more cost optimized in your application and more agile. Then let's have a review of the networking connections. So the Ningxia and Beijing region are isolated from the global consoles, which means the network is also isolated, although the Beijing region and Ningxia region are connected with each other. And Hong Kong region is connected to the global region. So in the global console, you can see the Hong Kong region. But if you want to see the Beijing region and Ningxia region, you need to create an account in the AWS China console. And Direct Connect and CloudFront POPs are available in Chinese mainland in major cities to provide the coverage for your customers via internet access and your customer and yourself when using the private lines connecting the AWS regions in Chinese mainland and your physical data centers. And when you deploy your workloads in Chinese mainland and global regions, you need to connect things up, right? So this is the core part that everyone is interested in. We have already done a lot of work and efforts with collaboration with the top service providers. There are listings in global marketplace from China Telecom and China Unicom that have full license to operate the cross-border private lines. So now you can just place an order in global marketplace, and then your connection between the regions in Chinese mainland and the global regions will be up in less than 2 weeks. This is shortened from months if you build everything from scratch, from the very beginning. I mean, can contact the service providers and do everything by yourself. I want to walk you through a little bit more details in this because the telecom providers have already placed their networking gears in our direct connect locations so that when you place that order and do the configuration in the console, all the provision will be automated. That is why we can shorten it to less than 2 weeks. Last but not least, maybe some of you heard that the network internet data transfer cost is a considerable portion of the overall spending in Chinese mainland. So we specially designed a product for Chinese mainland. That is the static BGP. Static BGP provides equivalent performance but much lower price to our customers. And it supports the ELB and also the EC2. So if you want to save cost of the internet data transfer out, I recommend you to use the static BGP as a default option for the internet. That is the networking part. So when we connect everything up, we need to think about the security in terms of the data at rest and in transit. First of all, let's talk about the account and access. As I mentioned, AWS China regions the Beijing region and Ningxia region are isolated from the global regions, so it has separated AWS organizations and accounts. And all users here are IAM users. with root user eliminated. And then in terms of encryption, we provide AWS KMS, key management services, just like the global regions. And when you need HSM, the hardware security module, you can use a partner solution. The hardware security module is a business regulated by government in Chinese mainland. We cooperate with some qualified partners to provide HSM appliance either in a virtual way or physical way to our customers. And in the network protection, we provide the AWS web application firewall, as well as partner next generation firewalls, such as the Palo Alto, as shown in Ken's slides, and also some other vendors like the Fortinet. And when we secure the data, we also need to move it, replicate across the border to help you save the undifferentiated efforts of the data replication. We provide solutions to replicate data easily across the S3 buckets, container registry, means the ECR, and also the DynamoDB across the border. And these solutions are ready to use, and these solutions are verified by some key customers. Meanwhile, these tools and solutions are just the technical parts. Before you do the data replication, you better have a comprehensive review of the privacy data review and detection. So on the right parts, that is a white paper we published with our partners, so that if an enterprise wants to do the cross-border data transfer, you can just refer to this white paper and also collaborate with AWS and its partner to make the strategy and the policies for the cross-border data transfer. And for the sensitive data protection, we already developed a solution as well as tools for the sensitive data protection. This tool can not only discover the sensitive data per policy and the machine learning algorithms, but also it can provide flexible data classification and a centralized view of all the results. And after all, you need a team. You need a tech team to operate easily. There are many questions raised regarding how to build a globally distributed pipeline to manage the workloads in your global regions and the ones in Chinese mainland. So here, let's go through them from left-hand side to the right-hand side. In terms of the source code management and the package building, typically it will be centralized in your original place, right? And then if you have unit tests, you'd better design the test cases specifically for global regions and for the Ningxia and Beijing region, especially when you are using some managed services such as the Lambda, DynamoDB, and API Gateway, etc. Because the endpoint is different, so you need to design different unit test cases to the workloads in different regions. And then, in terms of deployment, of course, you need a separate deployment pipelines. One of them is for the global regions, and one of them are for the Beijing and Ningxia region. Although the pipeline is distributed and well organized, the project management can be unified. In this example, I show you an example that we can use Jira as a unified way to manage all the projects for the Chinese mainland ones and the ones in global regions. As you can see, in each stage, I placed the icons for AWS services as well as the partner services. The reason is that we are so open that we want to give the best offerings with AWS services and as well as the partner offerings. And in Chinese mainland, quite a few global ISVs have already landed, for example, SAP. And in some use cases, our multinational company customers want to leverage some local ISV as an alternative. So we developed local ISVs as our partner to fulfill the requirements. Now, there are over 7,000 partner solutions in Chinese mainland. As Ken mentioned, we want to make you secure and compliant in Chinese mainland. And on the other side, we want to help you to leverage the talents in Chinese mainland to do the local innovations. And now, the generative AI is the hottest domain in the innovation. So here's a report from McKinsey. By 2030, generative AI is expected to contribute about 7 trillion in value to the global economy. And China will take up 1/3 of that. As a matter of fact, many global enterprises are leveraging AWS China tech teams as well as the Chinese unicorns to build the generative AI applications. Here's an example from Siemens. The Siemens Chengdu factory wants to build an internal chatbot and a search engine for their knowledge base to resolve some questions automatically regarding the IT, HR, and finance. So they find us for a solution. And we work closely with the customer as well as the partners. Actually, that's a unicorn providing the foundational model. Together, we build this application. And you can see that this screenshot is the real application of this chatbot. You can ask a question, and it can search the knowledge base, and it can provide you a summary instantly. The result is that it is used by over 4,000 employees and answered 12,000 questions in the first week of launch. And more than 90% of the questions can now be answered directly by this chatbot. And this is well recognized by the line of business as well as the IT teams in Siemens, China. So our vision is that we really want to become a tech bridge and an innovation engine for global companies to succeed in China. Thank you. Back to you, Ken.
Thank you, Wen, for the great speech. Now I'm back to the stage. Yeah. If you look at the video at the beginning, we're accelerating the digital transformation for many customers from different industries. If we recap, like in retail industry, we're helping Pete's Cafe using serverless or AWS serverless service to re-arc their application and run it more efficiently. In Schneider, in manufacturing, it's a traditional manufacturing. However, we work with Schneider to accelerate the digital journey in the factory and also for other devices. And Simon Fisher, a famous US healthcare life and science company, also innovate together with us based on the service we provide in AWS China. Last but not least, a lot of ISVs like Canva. Canva is an Australian unicorn. It's a unicorn headquartered in Australia and now expand to a global company. So together with these customers and partners, they're leveraging AWS advanced technology and innovations and also our partnerships and also our partner to accelerate the industry digitalization. Multinational companies are capitalizing in China continuously. Today, it's my honor to invite Rehan from Tapestry. Tapestry is a famous American fashion company onto the stage to share with more about their footprint both in global and China with AWS. Welcome, Rehan, to the stage. Welcome. Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. Now, we will do in a relaxed Q&A style. So let me start, Rehan. First of all, welcome to re:Invent, and thank you for coming to this G2C session. Can you give us an introduction of what is Tapestry and yourself?
Tapestry is a multinational, multi-brand luxury fashion company. Our portfolio includes Coach, Kate Spade, and Stuart Weitzman. My name is Rehan Mubashir. I head up the cloud platform architecture and engineering at Tapestry. My primary responsibilities encompass overseeing the design, implementation, and optimization of cloud solutions and overall global cloud architecture.
Thank you, Rehan. Then my next question is can you walk me through your AWS global footprint and the plans for China? Especially, I would like to hear the key drivers for Tapestry to make a global to China initiative.
Footprint-wise, we have built landing zones across 6 AWS.
We can face into the customer.
6 AWS global regions, including North America, NA, Europe, Middle East, Africa, EMEA, and Asia Pacific, APAC, running hundreds of infrastructure components and services with wide variety of critical workloads. China is an important market for Tapestry. Today, we extensively leverage data across all our global markets and make data-driven decisions across all our initiatives. We needed to extend similar capabilities in China region to accomplish this and to comply with unique regulatory and data privacy requirements in China. We built a new landing zone in mainland China with AWS. Building it with AWS enables us to kind of leverage AWS's proven infrastructure, broad range of services, and our internal skills while we are tailoring solutions for Chinese market. Today, our Chinese landing zone, the AWS Chinese landing zone, hosts analytics platforms providing data-driven insights about Chinese consumers, which enable highly localized engagements.
Thank you, Rehan. Yeah, Tapestry has been AWS customer for many years in global region. And when they enter into China market, everybody knows China market is a big market, a huge opportunity. However, it is quite unique. Especially we have a lot of local cloud providers like Alibaba Cloud, like Tencent Cloud. They're all headquartered in China. So what make Tapestry take the decision to work with AWS in China?
We have developed a strong relationship with AWS over many years and realized significant benefits, be it performance, reliability, security, and pace of innovation. When we look to localize in China, there were certainly many local platform providers. However, ultimately we chose AWS because of our trust and experience with AWS infrastructure, broad range of services, our ability to leverage existing tool sets and internal skills with minimal change. Though the local providers were a compelling option, AWS gave us consistency and highest chance of success. Throughout the project, AWS China team was very supportive, helping us through the launch challenges in the new region. And also the extensive partner network, which some of the speakers were kind of showing earlier. That came as a nice surprise, giving us access to a lot of local experts as needed.
Thanks, Rehan. Thanks for trust AWS, both in global region and the China region. Yeah, it's great. Then how about the global to China progress so far? And what are the next steps?
I mean, launching infrastructure in any new region brings kind of familiar challenges when you are trying to kind of build up capabilities in a totally new region and zone. We face this similar situation, but I should kind of give it to AWS team who were very instrumental helping us to kind of troubleshoot and overcome all of these challenges successfully. For example, somebody was mentioning earlier about the SCP feature and all of that. when we started in China, the ability to natively deploy a few security controls such as service control policy was not available yet. The AWS China team worked with us, engineered a custom solution until the SCP feature was officially launched in China. And with regard to next steps, we are creating a comprehensive data fabric in AWS China region and going to be building a customer 360 capability, which is going to help us to understand and serve Chinese consumer better.
Thank you. Fantastic for the partnership with us. Yeah. Thank you, Rehan.
Thank you.
Please take your seat. Yeah. Like Tapture is one of our customer reference. However, during the past 10 years, until now, we've already serving thousands of MNC customers in China from different industries, all the way from automotive, manufacture, high-tech, retail CPG, healthcare, life and science, and also global ISV landing in China, like SAP, like Palo Alto Networks. And yeah, we're really looking, I hope, throughout this session, you build you more confidence about AWS investment and our continued long-term plan in China, and also understand we have service, we have infrastructure, as well as we have a complete team with different functions, exactly as we said in global region to support your business lending. So I really looking forward more and more MNC companies and also global ISVs reach out to us. We are your trusted partner to help you to not only land your business in China, but expand your business in China. By now, we are finishing today's session a little bit earlier, and thank you for coming. And the next page is some content points, some resources for you to share. You can take pictures. If you have any questions, or if you want to reach out to our team, these are all the links, resources. You can reach out to us, and we will respond to you. Thank you for coming. Thank you.